Hey friends, welcome to this week's video. This week we're going back into the fashion realm just because July is really going to be tech focused, and I got these t-shirts in the mail that I really want to make sure I get out the window before I get that focus on tech again. So if you saw my previous review on the cuts, this is a competitor to that called BYLT or BYLT. It's kind of a strange name, especially when you put it next to their basics collaboration or their branding. So BYLT Basic sounds a little bit weird, but anyway, they are supposedly a very nicely fitting, wrinkle free, all the sort of Instagram key terms in terms of t-shirts. So I wanted to make sure that I checked them out because some of my friends said that they were legit, so I wanted to check them out for myself, especially because I did that previous review. So this will be going into that. There's going to be a ton in terms of their line of options, but since BYLT has a lot more, I'm gonna go into that, but I did not buy the same sort of breadth of stuff that I did with cuts, because cuts was a little bit more simplistic, so it was easier to get the variety. But for BYLT, they have a ton of stuff, so I'm not gonna buy all that. But here, let's go into the breakdown. BYLT staples around the essentials market with their various tees. However, they have a pretty large breadth of products, which not only includes a large range of t-shirt styles, but also extends to dress shirts, jackets, polos, bottoms, underwear, outerwear, and even some limited lines for women and children. You can also bundle like items to save 5% on many instances, which is a nicety, especially if you're trying to overhaul your essentials. Outside of a variety of clothing options, each category has a variety of cuts and colors. BYLT definitely surpasses cuts when it comes to sheer options. Not only do you get a ton of color options, but you also get pattern shirts, pocket shirts, raglans, a personal favorite of mine, button Henley hoodies, various hems, and more. Looking across their range, there's definitely a lot to consider and allows you to fill in a lot of gaps in your wardrobe as a result. Due to the sheer size of their offering, I will be focusing on the short sleeve t-shirts, long sleeve t-shirts, and tanks for this review. Outside of category, cut, color, you also have a choice of material when looking at these three categories. The BYLT standard fabric is 67% cotton, 28% polyester, and 5% spandex, and BYLT as their more durable and sweat-resistant fabric. While on the other hand, the Luxe blend is 70% cotton, 25% polyester, and 5% spandex, and purported to be a tighter knit fabric with a more structured but cool to touch fit than the standard. They also have a ton of other blends such as their Elite Plus, Premium, Performance, etc, 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 but the usage of these blends seem to be more rare on their basic tees and is used for other things like their underwear and pants. The shirts fit extremely close to body, even more so than the cut shirts, and this is especially felt in the long sleeve. The Luxe fabric is highly structured and tightly woven, which makes it rebound really quickly to its original shape despite its stretchy characteristics. I do love that they implemented a printed tag instead of a stitch tag, as it allows the shirt to keep its clean look, while also improving the comfort. If you remember from my cuts review, that tag stitching was terrible, so I'm glad that BYLT opted out of that. BYLT has also kept their branding extremely minimal and out of sight, with just a small printed tag above the left side of the bottom hem. Again, simple, clean, subtle, great branding overall. The stitch quality is also really good. They utilize double stitching for all their hems, and all their stitching is consistent, even, and flush, unlike some of their competitors. The stitches seem strong and stay tight even through heavy stretching. The fabric is purported to be breathable, anti-sweat, and wrinkle-free. In my trials, these shirts felt a little stuffy even when comparing them against cuts. I'm not sure if that's just because of the tight fit, but I felt that even in the tank tops. I will also say that the materials are not wrinkle-free. They would definitely come out with wrinkles if you left them on the floor or in a bag for a little bit bunched up. In terms of the overall length, I think the shirts are a good flattering length that would allow you to raise your arms without exposing your back or stomach. The rounded hem is a good aesthetic and looks great seated or standing, which is probably why a lot of brands are switching to that hem as an option in their lineups. Now that you have an understanding of the key features of these shirts and how they look, let me dive in a little bit deeper into particular things that stuck out to me while I was testing these. Alright, so let's talk about the actual cut of the shirt and the materials that are used. I think that's going to be really important for you guys to understand that this can be a shirt that you can use every day. So let's start off with the neckline. So the neckline is actually alright on the t-shirt or the t-shirt and the long sleeve, just because it does give you a little bit of neck room, and you know, it lies nicely on the shoulders. I don't like that they use the stitch collar instead of a ribbed. Some people really like that, and you know, they just like the aesthetic and they like how it sits. For me, they're less comfortable, and over time they do seem to roll a bit. So they roll in and out, so you end up fidgeting with it a bunch. Just not something that's my preferred. I prefer a little bit thicker ribbed there, and it just has a little bit more natural stretch as the shirt, you know, grows into you over time. But overall, not too bad. But in terms of the actual tank top itself, this is where I felt that the neckline was a little bit more restrictive. I just want my tank tops to have a little bit more, you know, scoop on the neck so that I can breathe a little bit better, especially because I'm probably using that on a hotter day. I can see how people might want to use it to cover up like this area, especially if they're using it for like a dress shirt, like a dress undershirt or something like that. But even for me, I like my dress undershirts to just scoop a little bit more, because I don't like that being seen if I have like an unbuttoned collar. It just seems like a little bit less savvy to me. So that's just a pet peeve of mine. If you're used to tank tops being this high, you'll probably be alright with it. But yeah, in terms of the length, I think the length is actually pretty good. If you want to tuck it, it's long enough where you have plenty of room to tuck that, but the drop cut is very nice in terms of just having it untucked, just because it's very pleasant against the body. It cuts up a little bit by where your pocket is, and then it has a nice little coverage for the butt, so even if you like are raising your arms or whatever, you won't kind of like show your stomach or backside very easily. So I think that's a good cut on the lower end. In terms of the actual material itself, it is very tight to body, so like it will snap back real quick. It's good if you want like shape retention, probably be good. I'd have to see how it would go in washes and stuff like that, but for me, that's just sometimes I could see it being a little bit too restrictive, especially as I wore the long sleeve. I just felt like sucked in there, and as a result, like I don't think that this cut may work for everybody. Again, like just like cuts, if you're a little bit filled out in the middle, or you're broader or something like that, you just may feel really restricted. And where I really felt that, regardless of if it's tank top, t-shirt, long sleeve, it would be in the armpits. The armpits just, there's just not a lot of space. And I'm not like the broadest dude in the world, but even I'm feeling that. So I would imagine if you had bigger shoulders, like wider back, bigger chest, that this armpit area is just gonna suck up right into your armpit, and you won't have that sort of mobility and breathability that you probably want out of a basic t-shirt. So like the construction, I get why they're doing it, but it just feels like it's not going to be comfortable over time and something that you just want to lounge around in. What else do I need to know? Oh, that's the thing, is yes, I picked the Luxe line just so I could get more cotton content. That's why I learned kind of from the Pima and Pika cotton from the cuts, is that just that the Pima cotton 100% felt better because it was all cotton. It was all natural cotton stuff. So I wanted to avoid sort of that synthetic feel, but I did get it with this, so that's unfortunate. There's just that sort of, I don't know, it just feels like there's a film on it. And I asked many people how they felt. I just threw it at them, like, what do you feel like this? They're like, what's on this? And I'm like, nothing, it's just cloth. And they're like, no, there's like a film on it. There's got to be something on it, because it doesn't feel like a normal t-shirt would. Like, people wouldn't steal this. People have stolen my other t-shirts and sweatshirts. I don't think people would steal this. And that's unfortunate. But there's a reason, there's a slight difference, and that's the reason why I keep wearing this shirt, is because it's the most comfortable one. For some reason, the heathered gray has significant more comfort than all the other colors, which is stupid, because like, I mean, people are probably gonna be getting the other colors because they're bolder, they're cooler, you know, you can kind of arrange them in a outfit better. But like gray, that's just like kind of standard, like unless you're getting like like an undershirt for a dress shirt, like this probably wouldn't be the first bet, but it's their most comfortable. It's all the same material, so I'm not exactly sure. This wash should be exactly the same because it's all within the same line. But there's a slight difference, so that's weird to me. But that does make me think about their, what is it called? Their snow something. Snow grinded t-shirts or snow processed t-shirts, snow wash t-shirts. There was something with snow. I'm gonna put it up here somewhere. But that t-shirt line, again, they're a little bit more muted and for fall in terms of the colorways, but that makes me think that that line would probably be the most comfortable that they offer. And that might be something to look into if you guys are okay with those colors and you still like what BYLT has to offer. But yeah, there's just some stuff with the materials which I can't really approve of, and that I don't think that I could rock every day without feeling like fidgety and, you know, nitpicky about how it felt on my body. But yeah, I think in terms of that, I think that's all I got to say. So let's wrap this up and do my final thoughts. So I'm pretty sure you know. You know what I'm gonna say here. Don't buy these. I know that I said that a lot of my friends kind of signed off on this, but I can't. Just because to me, the fit and, you know, aesthetics of it must meet the comfort, and these just don't. That sort of film fakeness to it is just not a t-shirt that I can rock. And I've had bad experience with them in the past in terms of longevity. So I don't feel like they would age very well, and I don't think that they would look good over time. But I mean, again, they fit this aesthetic, they are sleek, they're form-fitting, so I get why these are popular on Instagram. However, for me, I want to be able to lounge in this. I want to be able to have this thing breathable. I want to use this as an undershirt. I want to use this as layering. You know, I want to use this for a bunch of different reasons, and I really want it to be comfortable so I can just use it all day, and it can just be a staple and really an essential basic. So because of the fact that the BYLT is built with that sort of material and that sort of quality, I can't really see it living in my wardrobe, so I will be returning the whole kit and caboodle. Again, I will leave links to BYLT and the other options that I did in my previous video in the description. However, if you do need a recommendation on a really solid t-shirt, I am going to reiterate my recommendation of Buck Mason. These are real cotton. They are real materials. They don't have any sort of film on them. They're not sort of fancy, but they're very, very comfortable. They don't come in as wide of array of colors as, like, let's say cuts, but they do have a wide array of materials. So my favorite is the slub because it's loose fitting or loose knit. So that means it's great for summer, but they also have tighter knit stuff if you need to wear it as an undershirt and you want it more close to the body and less airy. So I would definitely check them out. They have a lot of good materials, and I'm pretty aligned with what their quality standards are. So I think that's a safe bet if you're looking for a decent t-shirt or to expand your essentials in your wardrobe. But anyway, thank you guys for sticking around with yet another fashion thing. Again, this won't be the norm. There's just certain things come through the pipeline, especially with me trying to clean up for the summer. And yeah, we're getting to tech heavy in July. So once July hits, you'll see the first earbud. And I think the first one we're going to do is the Sony WF-1000M X4. And I'm really surprised I didn't mess that nomenclature up. But yeah, that will be the first one on the docket, and then we'll be going to other earbuds, and there'll be a comparison at the end. So it's gonna be very earbud heavy in July. So if you're looking forward to that, or if you're in the market for those, stay tuned. But again, thank you guys all for the new subscribers. Been really appreciating you guys engaging despite some of the hiatus that I'm going through. But yeah, I appreciate your patience. But anyway, if you're new here, please consider liking, subscribing, commenting, doing all the things that you normally do on a video that you like and love. And again, if you're returning, I appreciate all the comments. You guys helping me improve this channel, and we're making our way to 1,000. So stay with me. We'll be getting there shortly, hopefully. Anyway, as always, appreciate y'all. Peace.